us in this special meeting of the Land Information Advisory Council. My name is Jenny Stapp. I'm the state librarian and chair of the council. We're going to go ahead and start with introductions, and I will call on people and ask you to introduce yourself and let us know where you're from and who you represent. Erin Fashaway, let's start with you.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Erin Fashaway. I'm the State GIS Coordinator with the Montana State Library.
And Genevieve?
I'm Genevieve Lighthizer, and I'm the Admin Assistant for the State Library.
Alex?
I'm Alex Dado with the NRCS. I'm the State Soil Scientist, and I run the GIS section for NRCS in Montana.
Thanks, Alex. Alan Armstrong?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Alan Armstrong here with the Bureau of Land Management. I'm the GIS Program Manager for Montana and the Dakotas. I'm representing the Department of Interior, and I am in Billings.
Thanks, Alan. Troy?
Oh, sorry, I got muted there. Troy Blanford, Water Information, the State Library. Thanks.
Thanks, Troy. Jessica Mitchell?
Good morning, everyone. Jessica Mitchell, Spatial Analysis Lab Director at University of Montana.
Brandy Holstein?
Hi, everyone. Brandy Holstein, GIS Specialist for Department of Revenue.
And Brian Collins?
Good morning, everyone. Brian Collins, GIS Manager for DNRC. I'm sitting in today on behalf of our Director, Amanda Kastner.
Brian. Eric Spangenberg?
Good morning, everyone. Eric Spangenberg. I'm with City of Helena and Lewis and Clark County, GIS Coordinator, and I'm serving as a local government rep on MLIAC. Thank you.
Michael Fashaway?
Michael Fashaway, Montana State Library and the Land Information Lead.
And Frank Dewar?
Hi, I'm Frank Dewar. I'm the GIS Manager for the City of Bozeman, and I'm serving as a local government representative.
Jeff Hedstrom?
Yeah, GIS Analyst for Montana State Library.
Thanks, Jeff. Kenny Kettner?
Good morning, I'm Kenny Kettner. I'm the Information Products Lead for Montana State Library.
And Lee Mackholtz?
Lee Mackholtz. I am the GIS Manager for the City of Missoula, serving as a local government representative.
Rob All?
Good morning. I am the GIS Specialist for a National Land Status Team of the Forest Service, and I represent the Montana Association of GIS Professionals.
Matt Heller?
Matt Heller, cartographer with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Science Applications Program, and I am one of two DOI representatives.
Megan Burns?
Good morning. Megan Burns, GIS Analyst with the Montana State Library and the Administrative Boundaries Team Lead. Thanks.
Valentine?
Good morning. I'm Valentine Hoff, work at the Fire Center at the University of Montana, Missoula, and I represent the Montana University System.
And I have a phone number ending in 752.
Kathy Whitman. This is Kathy Whitman, representative for House District 96 out of Missoula.
Welcome. We're so glad you could join us.
Thank you.
Did I miss anyone? I do want to pay a special welcome to Kathy Whitman. She's one of two new legislative appointments to the council. So we're really glad you could join us today on very short notice. I know you just got your notice this week, so thanks for being with us. And then just an update for the rest of you. We've been in touch with the governor's office, and they are accepting applications for appointment to the council for the next biennium. There's an application available online. We certainly encourage all of you to reapply for your seats and hope that you're interested in continuing to serve with us. We hope to have appointments made by July 1, but in conversations with the governor's office, if they haven't made those appointments, we request that you continue to serve until either reappointed or new appointments are made in your place. So again, I really hope all of you will continue to serve. I think we have just a really well-formed council, and we so appreciate all of your expertise and input over the last couple of years. If you have questions about the application process or just the council in general, really encourage you to reach out to either myself or Aaron. And then specifically for Representative Whitman, we will go through an orientation process for the council once we have a new council seated at the, after the start of the fiscal year. Are there any questions about the application process?
Yeah, this is Eric. Could you maybe, if you have a chance, is the application, is that off of the governor's office or is it right from the state library? Is there a link from that page?
I think we've actually got it in both places.
Okay.
On the council page is a serve with us link, and the link should be the same when we looked at it last.
Yeah, that is correct. So the link will take you to the governor's boards and appointments. It says serve with us. It's on the right-hand side, and we can drop the link in there. I'll also send a reminder to all council members regarding the appointment process. And so like Jenny had stated, you can either be, you can either have someone recommend you or you can apply yourself. And yeah, so I think that we're not quite sure when the appointments will be done. Probably, you know, the recommendation Jenny and I would give is probably sooner. The sooner the better to get those appointments in. If you know anyone that's interested, please pass them along to Jenny and myself, or we could try to reach out to them. We've had some interest in some of the positions that are currently vacant because of retirement. So, but if you have any others that you might feel it would be beneficial for us to talk to, we'd be happy to do so.
The first order of business is approval of the executive summary from our April 6th council meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to that executive summary? Hearing none. Oh, please go ahead.
Yeah, I found a few errors that I sent to Genevieve this morning. I don't know if she was able to get those incorporated.
Did I uploaded the new one like at 9:15, 9:30.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Thanks, Erin. Is there a motion to approve the corrected minutes?
I'm moved to approve the corrected minutes for, gosh, what was the date?
April 6th.
For April 6th, 2021 meeting.
Thanks, Lee. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion. Valentin.
Thanks, Valentin. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thanks everyone. I'm going to move on to current business. We have another action item. Erin, would you describe this grant extension request?
Absolutely. Genevieve, will you mind clicking on that link, please? So during the last council meeting, we presented, the council approved the process for a special third-year extension due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we had offered all FY 2020 grant recipients who met some certain criteria to go into a third extension year. And typically we only extend for one fiscal year. And so given that, you know, the majority of their time during this during their extended year, so they're currently in an extended year, was under the COVID-19 crisis, and then it started you know, midway through their original grant year. We thought it would be fair to try to give them a little more time. And in this case, after the offer was made, we only had one grant recipient who was interested. So that's great for the grant program. The rest of the projects will be wrapping up in the next 2 weeks. And so basically Carter County, they have a electronic plat book project that they are working on, and this kind of supports their local government business processes and operations, and they have requested the extension. This was reviewed by the grant subcommittee of the council, and it was approved, and so it's just put in front of you for a final approval of the entire council. Any questions?
Hearing no questions, is there a motion to approve this special extension?
I would make the motion to approve this temporary extension.
Thanks, Eric. Is there a second?
I second.
Thanks, Lee. Is there any further discussion or questions? Let me ask if there's any public comment. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries. Thank you. Wanted to just briefly touch on a final legislative update for the council. We ended the session in a very positive fiscal position. Our House Bill 2 budget was largely approved as proposed by the governor. And then most of you are aware that we had an additional one-time only appropriation of existing MLIA funds, Montana Land Information Act funds, totaling about $426,000 each year of the biennium, or Erin, I might be getting $462,000. I'm sorry, I'm getting my numbers backwards. About $926,000 for the biennium to launch the real-time network effort. So that's included in our House Bill 2 budget. Also in our House Bill 2 budget now is the appropriation that is tied to House Bill 49, which was the increase to the Montana Land Information Act recordation fee, that doubling of the fee from $1 to $2. $1.50 of that will come to the state library, and then the additional amount will go to the local governments. So that new appropriation in our budget is about 828,000 each year of the biennium. So we're going to be talking about what that increased appropriation means for the land plan during our work session. And we'll have a little bit more opportunity to talk about how we see spending those dollars and get input from the council on what you think our priorities should be. I wanted to just briefly say that our business office staff is going through the process working with the governor's budget office on a process called turnarounds, which is where they take what was appropriated by the legislature and tie it to the state budgeting system. And that process usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks. And so the numbers that we're sharing in the draft land plan budget that we'll look at today are probably very close, but could change just a little bit as we make that tie into the final budgeting system. And when the State Library Commission reviews the final updates that the council proposes when they approve the state library's FY22 budget, we'll have final numbers available at that time. So just a note that some of the numbers are draft, but probably pretty close. And I just wanted to call attention again to the fact that with the passage of House Bill 49, local governments will also see a doubling of the funds that they receive to help support GIS, and we're just really excited about that. Do we have that link available to the dashboard that we can share?
I am going to drop it in the chat right now.
Great. For the purposes of the legislative session, staff created a dashboard that shows the collections that each county has received through the Montana Land Information Recordation fee since the inception of that fee in about 2006. To date, counties have collected about $1.3 million. And again, through the passage of House Bill 49, that amount will double for all of those counties. A number of counties use those funds to directly support their local GIS programs. And we also are optimistic that, especially for those smaller counties, that with the increase of this funding, it might provide more seed money and more opportunity for us to see an increase in future grant requests and more opportunity to leverage those dollars through the MLIAC grant program in the future. So we're really excited about that. And then finally, House Bill 50 also passed. That's the bill that appropriated $450,000 a year to the state library to help local public safety answering points with their GIS data to help improve their 911 systems and to make them ready for next generation 911. The bulk of those monies will be spent on a software as a service contract that will allow local PSAPs to assess their GIS data more regularly. And then the balance will be available for the state library to help provide training and consulting and support to those local PSAPs that need additional support as they work to improve their overall 911 data. So another great opportunity for us as we move forward. Are there any questions about my legislative update?
Thanks for sharing that dashboard. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, thanks, Frank.
Esri has recently picked up the dashboard and it's being circulated through LinkedIn. So pretty proud of the work that our team did to get that up and running.
That was nice. I actually ended up taking it and sharing it over to our treasurer and our fiscal folks on the county side and saying, FYI, where is this money? Actually, no. No, we typically, that collection actually is part of what we use when we every 5 years when we update the imagery and LiDAR over the valley. So that's a good share of that goes into that CIP that we use for our updates for that stuff.
That's great, Eric. For those of you on the council that aren't aware, most of these dollars in some of the smaller counties will end up in a local government general fund. The intent is to help support the collection of land information at the local level. We don't have any kind of audit processes or any kinds of responsibilities to track how local governments use those funds, but we do have the ability to at least see what local governments are collecting based on the amount of revenue that's coming into those accounts. So that's the information that we're making available here.
Jenny, did you say that this resource was actively used during session or
this dashboard? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks. Any other questions about my legislative update? Aaron, why don't you talk about GIS strategic planning?
Absolutely. I was just responding to Michelle, our project manager. So we are in the process of, we have awarded the contract to AppGeo. They have a lot of experience, and some of you are familiar with what we're doing. And I'll just give a brief background for those of you that are new to the council. Basically, we are in the process of creating a geospatial strategic plan for the state of Montana for GIS coordination activities. And basically the current plan that we have is I think 15 plus years old, and the folks that we decided to go with through the RFP process is a company called AppGeo, and they are pretty familiar with the process and have a lot of experience with creating state geospatial strategic plans. And we have a subcommittee that is working on throughout this process. So Lee Mackoltz and John Healy, our tribal rep, are a part of the team, along with some of the leads internal to the state library. And currently we are working on finalizing a survey that will go out to our stakeholders. And we're creating that list of stakeholders as well. After that, there's going to be a two-part workshop series, and we will keep the council informed along the way because your input is very important to us. And so we hoped to have that survey out this week, but it looks as though there's a little bit of a delay, and it could go out at the end of this week, but probably the beginning of the following week. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to have this out because we are on a short timeline to create the strategic plan. So we'd ask that when you do see it in your inboxes to please take the time and complete the survey. And that survey information will be used to inform the planning process and how we're going to manage and facilitate the workshops. I think that's about it for now. Jenny or Lee, did you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think the biggest thing on my mind right now is that list of stakeholders and email lists, and how do we get this survey distributed? So I guess I'd put out an ask that if anybody has any ideas in terms of listservs or email lists or sources for that other than the MAGIP listserv, please throw something in the chat or shoot myself or Aaron an email about it. I've got to start, kind of adding on to the list that Aaron has created. I just have a feeling that if we rely primarily on the MAGIP listserv, we're not going to get the full audience and the full set of stakeholders that we really want to reach. So any ideas would be great.
Yeah, and I should say that the both the survey that we are currently crafting and the workshops, we're taking a two-pronged approach. One is going to be, the survey will basically fork, and it will be for GIS professionals who understand the technology, who use the information on a daily basis. And then the other ones, let's say the data products that we create for professionals. And then the other one will basically, the other part of the survey will be to address those users of applications and the information, any kind of application that is built on the MSCI and some of our other services. And so like that would be like a, not a GIS professional, but a professional like perhaps a realtor that uses, that relies upon cadastral on a daily basis. Perhaps a doctor or a healthcare professional that relies upon our current COVID dashboards on a daily basis. So things like that. So we're going to we wanted to take that approach of we have the extremely technical side and then the professional using our services side. So we'll hit up the usual suspects, as you probably could expect, the MAGIP listserv in that community. Some of the other ones I usually always send our activities and our announcements to as MAPS, which is the Association of Planners in the state. We send it to MACO and then the League of Cities and Towns, because those are other big partners of ours. We send it to our GIS Managers Forum, who basically, that's a state body that is in charge of bringing state GIS related issues. And so, and we'll work on, we have like Lee said, we do have a long list coming. Please feel free to redistribute yourself as well. But if you do have specific listservs in mind, like Lee had mentioned, please feel free to send those to us this week. And that's all I have on that report, Jenny.
Thanks, Erin. Any more questions for Erin about the strategic GIS strategic planning process? All right. Is there any additional public comment while we're in the open meeting portion of the agenda? All right. We wanted to spend the rest of our time together revisiting the FY22 land plan. As a reminder, this was the land plan that the council adopted back at your, I guess it was a late November, early December meeting that was proposed to the State Library Commission.